introduce you to Nicole. How's it going, Nicole? Good to see you, girl.
Hey, doing good. How are you?
I am awesome. So, Nicole, you are part of our amazing multimedia team, and you actually uh, have done the artwork for Drumathon for the past couple of years now, right?
Yes,
And
since 2021,
yeah.
I believe.
I'm gonna like show this to everybody real quick. So right now I've got up on the
Right.
screen the Drumathon 2022 flyer and the Drumathon 2023 flyer. So you actually like with these two flyers, you came up with the entire branding for the last 2 years of Drumathon. So this branding was carried through in all of our artwork for the event, including our stage screens, all the property screens on the LEDs throughout Grandscape, posters, like everything. Like you like laid it all out there.
Oh yeah, I mean, you helped me come up with the design, so give yourself a little credit.
I don't think I
But
can, man. I really
but
can't.
I just you did. You're more artistic than you think.
Well, thank you.
But I looked at all the designs that y'all had for the past few years, and I just kind of, I kind of wanted to do something different. So, but sticking along with the cool rock theme. So I just kind of, sorry, I have a cat that's I'm pushing off the counter real
Yeah,
quick.
yeah, it's all good.
But
No worries.
but oh, but it was kind of fun. It was really fun because I have never worked with something that I have to do pink. It's always my brands that I work with is usually white and it's not very fun. It's very businessy. And so when I got to do pink with Breast Cancer Can Stick it was just way too fun. I got to really explore in the artwork.
Yeah, and it's cool because whenever we send you the content, like we do like a photo shoot every year for Drumathon, and then we pick a few photos that we want to use to help brand that year's event, and then I send them over to you, and then what you do at that point, it just like really makes them come alive. Like with 2022, you had the smoke around the background, and the running versions of me on the bottom towards the snare drum, and then this year with the I think I might have sent you some of that equalizer stuff in the background, but like it was not nearly even like 1/16 as cool as what you did with it. But and then you just made it come alive. Like the artwork that you do is just energetic, which I think is cool to be able to do something that's 2D that's energetic. I mean, how do you do that? It's very cool.
Thank you.
Yeah, dude.
You just, I love it. Thank you.
Yeah. So whenever you started working with Breast Cancer Could Stick It, how did you hear about us?
So I moved to Texas from Alabama, and I always did breast cancer fundraisers in Alabama since I was young. Like me and my mom both did it. And so I was used to volunteering, and I knew moving here, I needed to find my new volunteer home. Um, and I searched through a lot of different organizations, and they just weren't the one. And I can't remember exactly who recommended me to you guys, but someone said you should meet April with Breast Cancer Can Stick It. And I was like, oh, I don't know who that is, but okay, and I did a little snooping on you, did a little snooping on Breast Cancer Can Stick It, and I loved y'all. So I knew I had to work with y'all. So I kind of
Well,
messaged y'all from there, and here we are.
well, and we're like so lucky because having an amazing graphic designs person like you really ups our game like nothing else. Like every year prior to that, we would kind of just like find somebody and use that person that year, and then we were never able to get somebody who was consistent like you. Well, and Phil and Brian, the three of you guys have been consistently helping for several years now, and that's so great because you guys all work together so well. They're able to keep that continuity of your branding through any other things that they might design. So they take whatever the concept is that you come up with, and then they use it in multiple different ways, whether it's like a Facebook event cover or some social media ad or a video, all the different things. And it's just we're really really lucky to have you guys as our multimedia team because like I said, it just ups our game big time. We really
It's a
appreciate
great
everything you
team.
do. Yeah,
The
yeah, it's
guys are
cool.
awesome. Like
Yeah,
we
there's
work
one.
so good together. I love it.
Yeah,
Like it's great.
yeah. Yeah, we get on the calls and we'll just be talking about whatever. I'm like, hey guys, we gotta work. Come on, let's
We got
go.
to work. Yeah.
Well, so one of the
I
big
love it.
reasons, I know, one of the big reasons, obviously, that you and your mom were involved with breast cancer awareness organizations is because you yourself are a breast cancer survivor. And your story is incredibly unique. I don't believe I've ever had anyone on the show who has a story like yours. So take us back. How did it all start? Because you were young.
Yes. So I was diagnosed in May of 2005. And so I had found a lump in my breast. So I'm not going to show you my breast. I had found a lump in my breast because I have always been like the skincare girl. I've always put on lotion after my showers and stuff. And so I knew my body pretty well. And when I found a lump, I was at the age of 14, and I waited a few months, and then eventually I told my parents, and I was like, I don't know what this is, but it's not normal. So we went and we got it checked out. The doctor, he said that it was probably a cyst similar to that a 40-year-old woman would have, and for us not to worry. And so we weren't worried. I went back to school. Mom went back to her work, like it was fine. And then I remember it was 2 weeks, almost 2 weeks after I turned 15. I had a follow up appointment and we had to see the results. And so we were in there. The doctor brought me in his office, and my mom knew, like she knew. She was already in tears, and I think I was in shock. I didn't know how to calculate it. And it went from there. But that doctor referred me to the wonderful team that took care of me at the Kirkland Clinic in Birmingham, Alabama, because that's where I lived at the time, was in Alabama. And they were wonderful. My first appointment there, though, they had like heads of so many different departments. They had Vanderbilt on the phone, and they were trying to figure out what to do with me because they didn't know. And
I mean, because you were so young, right?
yes,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. And
And
let me ask before I forget, Nicole, did you guys have any breast cancer in your family that you were aware of at that time?
no, not at all.
Wow.
Actually, a couple of years ago, my nana got diagnosed, but that was, I think she was in her late 70s. So
Yeah,
before
it's definitely
then, there
not the
was
same
nothing.
thing, like, cause
No,
yeah,
it's
it's
not.
a
It's not.
the
And the
older you
kind I
get,
had is
yeah.
extremely rare.
Wow.
So it's,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
But
So
yeah, even if you don't have family history, always check.
exactly. Yes, it's true. It's absolutely true. The reason I bring it up is because one of the big things that we like to point out is that it's good to know your risk factors because there are a lot of different risk factors. For example, if you're over 30, I believe it is, and you haven't had any children, you actually have a higher risk
Mhm.
of breast cancer. The older you get, like over like 50, 60, the older you get, the higher your risk. If you have a history of it, all these different things. But of course, at 15, you don't have any of those risk factors unless you have like a lot of relatives that have been diagnosed with breast cancer at a young age. You just really don't have a lot of risk factors at that age. So I want you to pick back up from where you were. You said that you guys were there and they had all these heads from all these other hospitals and places on the phone trying to figure out what to do with you. So take us from there, Nicole.
Oh yeah, they had Vanderbilt. So they had Vanderbilt on the phone, and my parents and I were like trying to listen through the wall to hear them to see what they were deciding to do, because we could hear them on the phone. And they decided not to go with chemo or radiation because that would actually, they were scared that it would cause the cancer to spread. So what they did was, over the next few months, I had a series of lumpectomies, and I had like the lymph nodes removed underneath my arm, and so many, so many tests, and so many tests. But everything came out good. Just it was months later, but everything came out completely negative in the end. And I had to go, I had to get checkups and mammograms, ultrasounds for every 6 months for a while, but now I'm every year. So And it's been that way for, I just calculated it a little bit ago and I was surprised. It's been 19 years. So
Wow, that's so
it's,
crazy.
yeah, it's coming
Wow.
up on the anniversary date of my clearance day too. So
What was that
it's
like?
pretty
Well,
cool.
I have a couple of questions. So I'm going to try to remember both of them. So first of all, you mentioned that it was a rare form of breast cancer. What was it called? Do you recall?
It is secretary carcinoma. And so less than 1% of invasive breast cancers, that's is secretary carcinoma. And then it's like a triple negative phenotype. Do you know what that means? Um,
I
it's
heard the
supposed,
words, but I don't know the details of what it means for sure.
it's, I could be wrong. Like I'm not giving you
Yeah, we are
everything
not
exactly.
doctors here, people.
Not doctors.
Not at
Uh,
all.
but it's basically cancers that are have like the triple negative phenotype are more aggressive and they're more likely to spread. But that's why they didn't do the chemo and the radiation
Yeah, it's
because of that.
interesting. Yeah, it's interesting because normally with triple negative breast cancer, at least at my age, they have a very regimented chemo that you get. It's very specific for triple negative. It's like, and if you get it, if you catch it early, it works really really well. So it's interesting that they said that this particular version that you had could potentially spread by the use of chemo. So that's really interesting. It just goes to show that like there's just so many different types and variants of breast cancer that
Mm-hmm.
we couldn't possibly know all of them. And so we're always learning more and more, and it's great that they are able to recognize the differences between each one now and then know how to handle each one differently. So I'm glad they didn't
Oh yeah.
do that if they, obviously they had that concern. So yeah, wow. It's
Yeah,
crazy.
they obviously did a great job because I'm
Yeah,
still
yeah.
here. So
Yeah, exactly. Praise God for that. So, my other question was, because I was just sitting here thinking, I was like, wow, you're 15, you're like in high school. Like, what was that like
yeah.
being in school? Like, did you tell your friends and like, how did all that work?
Yeah, it was weird because the day that I remember the day like exactly that I found out that I had breast cancer because I my mom checked me out from school early. I was walking down the hall and I remember exactly like the folks I had. It's crazy, but it's I forgot where I was going with that.
No,
But
you're
it
good. Just the
like
the
my
whole
no,
feeling of
but
being in school.
like
Yeah.
all my friends, they knew where I was going. They knew what appointment I had, but they didn't know like we. I told them it was a cyst, and there's nothing to worry about, so they weren't freaked out about it or anything. So we're teenagers, nothing serious. And so when I found out, I didn't really tell anybody for a minute. My mom did. She told her family, and word kind of spread. And I eventually did call some friends. I remember calling my friend Lauren at the time from my grandmother's phone and just walking up and down the sidewalk telling her and just mentally being like, I don't know what to expect. I don't know what to do, but just trying to be lighthearted of it. But even then, I knew, and my friends knew the importance of being positive with it. And like at the time, I received so many cards in the mail from like friends and family and just the community and different churches, just so many people. And I still have all these cards and like I read them from time to time because you know that you're not alone. Like I don't know
Yeah.
who half these people are, but they
Yeah.
still impact my life. Like they don't know
Right.
that, but they impact my life by giving me support and giving me hope. And
Right.
they sent me love at a time that I needed it. And so everybody just needs to remember they're not alone in this because we're all here. There's friends everywhere. But but back to the story. ADHD. Uh, in school, I was on school break, so I didn't really tell anybody. And then when I came back to school, I was done with treatments. And so I'm not really the type to like attention on myself. So I didn't really tell that many people, honestly. I did work with one of the clubs in school, and we did a breast cancer awareness foundation. I mean, not foundation, fundraisers every year. But that's probably as far as it went there.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
was just too young, and I didn't want people to know. Like at that age, I hated the color pink because
Yeah.
it, everybody gave me pink stuff, and it was breast
Uh,
cancer, and it reminded me of that. I just hated it. And now I'm finally like accepting the color pink. I wear pink a lot. Like that's my disc golf color. I have a hot pink skirt I'm making for the Barbie movie
awesome.
premiere.
That's
So
awesome.
yeah,
That is so awesome. I gotta see that, by the way.
I'll send you a picture. It's gonna
That's
be great. I
awesome.
spent too much money on fabric at the store. It'll be great though.
That's awesome.
But I'll wear it to our volunteer party.
There you go. Yeah, the 10-year anniversary party. We should do it there. That'd be
Yeah.
awesome. That'd be
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah. I love
Well,
it.
so whenever you were diagnosed, do you remember a point where you were like you actually felt afraid that you were gonna die?
Yeah, I did. And I remembered I remember I was at a sink. I don't remember what sink. I don't remember what house. I just remember standing there and thinking, what if I don't get through this? Like, what if this is it? What if this is all to my life? Like, that's not fair. I mean, my father, I'm not going to go into that, but I feel like there's more to life. I guess I thought that there was more, and so I realized that it wasn't fair, and that kind of put me in a dump. But my mom, she's my rock. God, I wouldn't be here without her because she kept me positive. She kept me going. She was the one that kept me in a positive mood and in a good energy. She made sure I never got down. So just those little moments that I did, she really quickly brought me out of that. And I'm so thankful for her for that. And she still does that to this day. So
Moms are good that way, man. For real.
yeah, they're the
Absolutely.
best.
Yeah, yeah. And it's funny you were mentioning that you kept all those cards that everybody sent you. I was talking earlier about going through a lot of keepsakes looking for, things from my mom. And when I was going through all that stuff, I found a big pile of cards that people sent me when I was going through breast cancer. And so you know that that was an
Oh,
important time in your life when if you kind of save those, and like you said, you kind of go back and read them, and you knew you weren't alone, and just
mm-hmm,
everybody kind of coming together to support you, and really
mm-hmm,
making sure that that you have that support is so important. I know that some people, everybody's different, but some people would prefer to do things to go through it alone and not bring other people in or whatever. But those of us who kind of get that energy from people, I think it's really important just to remember that you're not alone in any level of going through breast cancer, because it could be really
mm-hmm.
scary, and especially, wow, I still just can't believe 15 years old. And so lumpectomy, then you did a lot of biopsies of lymph nodes and everything else came out clear. And that's been it
Yeah,
since then. It's so crazy. How lucky, man. We're all lucky. And
so lucky.
you said, you said, there's got to be more to my life or whatever. And
Mm-hmm.
clearly there has been a lot.
Yeah, at the time I was like, I guess this is it. I guess I'm supposed to be here to promote breast cancer awareness to younger generation. That may be what I'm supposed to do. And so I did that for a while, and then I got older, and so I stopped a little bit, but I really feel like I need to get back into it. But I really felt like it changed me. I mean, it changed my life for the better. It made me a more positive person. It made me realize that life can change in a heartbeat, and you never know what's going to happen. So just do things that you enjoy. Just be happy, don't spend time
Yeah.
not.
Yeah.
So,
It just totally gives you a whole new perspective on life. Totally. And it's
mm-hmm,
funny because I say that a lot too, that it changed things for the better. And it's not something you would expect people to say about going through breast cancer, but it's true. Some kind of an experience, any kind of experience that's like that, helps you
yeah.
be more grateful and have better perspective on things. And wow, I'm still just like 15, so stinking young. And to still have that
Yeah.
motivation and to still feel that change 19 years later and know that it had such a profound effect on you and for the better is really super cool. So aside from just changing your perspective and everything, is there anything else that you could think of that made it better, made your life better as a result of going through breast cancer?
Um, I guess I realized to pay more attention to my body and take better care of myself and to pay attention what I'm putting onto my body because that can, you know, you actually see that in. Uh, just I think that's about it. I just to have a positive outlook and to keep a look on our health and to make sure definitely to make sure that you keep in touch with the people that you love because things like this could also happen to them, and you want them to feel comfortable to come to you. So just put
Nice.
off that energy, you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah, totally. I love that. That's so awesome. And yeah, and just like always say those things that you think about your family and your friends because you never know things can change in an instant. And so it's
Hmm.
always good to say those things. No regrets, you know?
Exactly.
Heck yeah. So are you going to be a drumathon this year and are you going to get up on stage with the breast cancer survivors?
Yeah, I didn't get on stage last year because I'm
Uh-huh.
shy,
Come
but
on.
I will get on stage this year.
We should get you to play drums too.
Oh my gosh, we have a drum set here, so I'll practice.
Sweet. You should. So you're going to need to fundraise and you're going to have to raise over $250 and then you can have your own little spot to play drums.
Hey, I can do it. I'll
I
do
I
it.
want you to do it, man. It would be so cool. You got to do it. We
All
need
right,
more
I'll do
chicks
it.
up there. See? Boom.
I'll do it. I'll do it. I'm gonna do it.
Fundraiser Nicole is going to go out there and raise a bunch of funds and make a difference in the fight against breast cancer yet again. You rock star.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, man, I'm so grateful that you could join tonight. Again, I'm so thankful that you're a part of the multimedia team. And I was telling somebody the other day that, we asked so many people to join various committees this year. And I mean, I'm talking like 25, 30 people. And out of all those people, there were only two people who were unable to do it. And so I was just very, very grateful. The multimedia committee is one of the committees that I've dreamed of having for many years. And it's funny, it was always you, Brian, and Phil. And I just never had the guts to ask because I was afraid that would be a no. And so I was like, I just need to go for it. And so I was so grateful that all three of
Yeah.
you guys were like, we're in. And it's so obvious that it was the perfect decision to have all three of you guys be a part of the team because you guys do work really well together and everything looks so polished and professional. And we're just super grateful for everything that you do for Breast Cancer Can Stick It, girl.
Well, thank you. We're grateful for you and what you're doing. We wouldn't be here if it
Thanks.
wasn't for you.
Well, thanks, man. We're a
So,
team, though. Come on.
yeah. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining, girl. And be sure to tune in here in about 15 minutes. We're going to have Hillary on, who's the lead singer for Ironic, and she's also part of the Drumathon
Yeah.
fundraising committee. So you got to tune into that, okay?
She's awesome. Okay.
Yeah, she is. All right,
Definitely gonna
girl.
be there.
Yep. Sweet. Thank you so much again for joining, Nicole. Have a great night, okay?
Thank you.
See you,
Bye,
girl.
guys.
Bye. All right, everybody, give it up for Nicole, Rockstar, joining tonight. Breast cancer survivor diagnosed at the age of 15. My goodness, it's so